Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
Now it's time for the gold.
Now we're talking.
We're talking gold.
Let's spin some gold all over these people's
Yeah,
eardrums.
let's shoot hot gold.
It's Rumpelstiltskin all over their faces.
Yeah.
Hot
Just
gold.
spinning gold. Shooting gold ropes. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to another episode of Hypecast!
Hypecast. It's back.
We're back! The movies are back!
The movies are literally back. Literally.
Literally. And not just in the way that we use it. I'm your co-host, Tom Ryman.
I'm the other co-host, David Bell.
I'm Abe. I'm the guest this time.
Yeah,
Hey!
you are.
Abe
Welcome.
Epperson, that is. Happy to
Welcome,
be
Abe.
of service.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much for being here on this momentous occasion in which movies are back.
Oh, I love being here. I love movies. This you know about me.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know about me. I was going to have a list, but I got it.
We figured you'd
Okay.
be the most excited that the movies were back. So
I can't even for 20 minutes before we started recording, I just was bouncing off the walls, punching stuff, just going like, movies!
Yep. And just in in between bouts of just overwhelming gratitude weeping.
Yeah,
Yep.
weeping
Just
and then
so
laughing.
thankful.
I was a real joker.
You were. Yeah.
You were
Just
the,
like
you
is
were
a
the
movie
clown prince
reference.
of movies. You really
is a
danced
movie.
down some stairs and cried.
Yeah, I did.
Good eye, Abe. Identifying it as a movie. Good eye. Fuck, man. Yeah, so this is the first Hypecast since the strikes are over, awaiting whatever inevitable next strike will happen. But for now, the movies are back.
Presumably
We're
soon.
talking-
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about trailers that are new, not trailers from the fucking 80s or some bullshit like that. And these are big trailers for big movies, and we're playing a little bit of catch up, so there'll be no news stories
tiny
today.
bit.
It'll just be more trailers. We're going to do
There's so
trailers
many.
and more
Yeah.
trailers. Yeah. Abe,
Oops,
many.
all trailers.
yeah. Abe, you
What
should
should I
plug
do?
stuff. You should plug where people can find you and what your whole deal is.
You gotta come over to Small Beans. That's patreon.com/smallbeans. If you want to hear me and Michael Swaim and Adam Ganzer and a bunch of other funny motherfuckers talk about movies, we do what they do. Come do it more.
Yeah, in fact, we are also, both me and Tom are sometimes on there via Spiel
We're
Boys
all-
and Star
We
Trek
are
The Next
two
Futurama.
of the jokers you can hear at Small
Yeah.
Beans.
Yeah, that's right. The yuck yucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're like we're like the horse and the people in Avatar with our tails all getting all intertwined. That's like
Oh,
us.
yeah.
That's
We're
our
like horse
networks.
tails. Yeah.
Dialed in, baby.
Are you ready for movies?
Fire the movie pistol.
All right.
I just wanted to say that that analogy was particularly apt because if you guys remember when we all first met each other, we did the Avatar thing with our tongues in each other's ears.
Yeah.
We like
with
connected
our
psychically.
our spindly tongues.
It's our handshake. It's our
Yeah,
handshake.
it's how we say
And-
hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and you might ask the question, who's the horse and who is the tall blue man? And the answer you're going to have to pay $5 for.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. So yeah, do it. Go to Small Beans. I'm not going to fire the movie pistol, actually, because we have producers to thank.
Oh.
Hey.
Big ol' thank you to @Nerd Numbers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you to Zero Charisma.
Thank you.
Thank you to Aaron Burser.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to AJ.
Thank you.
Thank you to Andrew McGuire.
Thanks.
Andrew Howe's Nemesis returns. Thank you. Thank you to Andrew. How do you spell Andrew McGuire? How? We
Thank
got a
you.
thing going. Thank you.
Settle down, guys.
Thank you to
like the two kids who are
Asking
next to
Seven.
each other in the fucking yearbook.
They're going to start doxing each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
Thank
What
you,
if we
Asking
pointed?
Seven.
Thank you, Asking Seven.
Thank you to Bob Grenville.
Thank you. All right, let me swoop in here. Thank you to Bootler Bootlesen. Thank you to
Thank
Brian
you.
and Tom Knows.
Thank you.
Thank you to Brockway Loves the Meat Millie.
Why,
Thank you to Burrito that wants you to drink water, hit the gym, and do the ska because he loves y'all.
Ska.
Thank you to Buy TikTok superstar Jason Pargin's new book, Zoe is Too Drunk for This Dystopia, out now wherever books are sold.
Also ska.
Mostly ska.
Yeah.
Pick it up. Jason's book.
Pick it up.
Thank you to Chester's Prophet.
Thank you.
Thank you to Christopher Robert Sparks, Esquire.
Thank you.
And thank you to Dan Hackroyd.
Thank you very much. All right. Are we all juiced up? We got so many movies to go through.
So
very
many.
exciting.
So let's just put on roll up our little sleeveys.
So many good and exciting movies.
Elvis
I
starting
rubbed butter
with-
trailers.
the whole time
Yeah.
you guys were doing the producer nods. I was rubbing butter all on
Hell
my
yeah.
body parts.
Just spraying Pam all over myself
Yeah,
Just
like,
grease
just a-
up.
Just a Pam Safari on my body.
like dry
This-
shampoo.
This dropped the day we're recording this, which is a
It
day
did.
earlier than we normally
Mere
do.
hours before.
Yeah, this is Madam Web from Marvel's Sony. Sony's Marvel.
Sony Pictures. What
Is
was it? It was
she-
like Sony Pictures universe of Marvel characters.
Yeah. Is she a spider
She
person?
is.
She a Spider-Man?
She's
is.
spinning a web of time.
Okay, because she didn't seem to be doing any, like, she wasn't flinging any web.
No, but
her,
her
like-
villain is.
She's mostly an old lady who's blind and sees the future.
Okay.
So I don't know
but
what's
they-
happening in this movie. They're kind of
They
doing,
made her 50 Shades of Grey
yeah,
there.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
it
they
looks like, I
teamed
mean,
her up.
obviously they're like trying to do the whole Spider-Verse thing with a bunch of different spider people and the multiverse stuff, which is what all the comics have been doing for the past couple of years. So that's, I guess, what this is.
Yeah.
This looks like shit, like all the other
Yeah,
Sony movies
so
do.
I have a pitch for them. I have a pitch. Stop.
Yeah.
All stop.
Stop it. Like I think superhero fatigue is, pretty real now. And I wonder if part of the fatigue, at least it is for me, and I didn't realize this until this, is that they can't stop introducing more superheroes.
That's
so like
definitely part of it for sure.
yeah, because there was always, remember that like cracked esque observation where it was like, where's the Avengers during Thor 2, And it was cute at first, and we sort of just like, Marvel was like, just be cool with it, Now it's just like there's fucking 50 of them, and it's just this world, like nothing's, like, how special are they at this point? Like, it feels like a large percentage of the population is just superhero.
Yeah, like
and
Nick
it's
Fury, who put together a team, just feels like a guy. Like there's 800 Nick Furies now. It feels
Right.
like.
He feels like fucking Bob Sugar from Jerry Maguire.
Yeah,
Right,
that's right.
and they'll be like, "Oh, here's a sequence where like a building blows up in New York," and it's like, "That's cool." I feel like there's 10 more happening at this same point. At this point, where like, it's just an apocalypse
Well,
of just
it's
superheroes.
that the thing that really gets me, and this is weird. I feel like this is a fine line to walk, as I've said before in our coverage of the Venom movies. I sort of like that Sony is doing a more trashy kind of B movie angle, but like Morbius was really bad.
It was very bad.
This doesn't look any better than Morbius, so
No.
it's in the midst of that superhero fatigue. I think it's like especially like weird to put out a trailer that looks so 2003.
Yes, I also think it's like I have no faith that this will go anywhere. Meaning that there's been so many dropped threads.
Right, false starts. Like, I totally. It's a big ass to get invested in these now, and it's like the last the most recent Spider-Verse movie was kind of a little bit overwhelming for me and like overstuffed. So now they're asking me to do it again, but with a new cast of characters and in live action, so everything looks worse than Spider-Verse looks.
I'm a simple Marvel understander. Never read a book. I don't believe in them, and
Fuck books.
this is the most I've been confused by a like trailer, like a IP, because I'm like, wait, I thought so. Spider-Man's in this? Oh no, it's a bad guy. Wait, no, it's not Spider-Man, but it looks exactly like Spider-Man. Is he just cosplaying as Spider-Man? I lost the thread.
Right, and then it's like, and she's Madam Web, not the Spider-Man.
So
And then she has Nicolas Cage in Next powers, right? She like sees 2 minutes in the future or something.
yeah,
I'm unclear.
you know what they should have called this superhero? The Groundhog.
That's not very Spider though.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I'm sure there's great answers for all of this. I'm sure it's an IP that is very well thought out and all that. It was lost on these old eyeballs.
And then like Morbius and Venom, they're like, this is in the Spider-Man universe, maybe, if it works out.
That's the other like this
there's
one.
this half committalness, right? Where they're like, it's adjacent Spider-Man adjacent film.
I'm really gonna need you guys to start putting Spider-Man in these. Like, stop circling. Like this movie is Gotham. Like Adam Scott is in this trailer. He's playing fucking Uncle Ben. You see him die in the trailer.
Right.
And Emma Roberts is playing Peter Parker's mom, apparently.
Peter Parker has a mom?
Yeah, he's got
I thought she just died.
Oh,
I thought she was just...
She died, but he got mom.
She arrived on scene dead.
He had a few birthdays before her plane crashed.
I mean, kind of to Dave's point about what's causing this fatigue, I would also argue that there has to be something to be said just about... They know, because like studios know, like the reboots, the reimaginings, the let's just have a reset button in terms of like a time travel device or something like that. All these devices that are now circulating around this MCU, they're doing this because it's very easy to make movies and respin them, because they're like, we don't like Jonathan Majors anymore. Well, we'll just adapt, like it gives the studios power. But to us, we're our beloved characters, like we're our...
Spin like a web, Abe.
Yeah, that's right.
It feels so ungrounded because apparently I'm realizing now why they made her young, because this takes place in the past, because they don't want to put Spider-Man in it, right?
Yep.
So they have,
there you go.
It's young Ben Parker, and young Mary Parker, and Madam Web is young, and so like if this becomes big, they can like stick her and Dakota Johnson in fucking old person makeup, I guess.
Yeah.
Or just recast her. I don't know. It just feels like this movie will come out and we'll never hear about it again. It'll just be a Morbius, and it's like that feeling of like a kid who just keeps wanting more toys, and you're like, what happened to the old toy? Why aren't you playing with your old toy? Make us a Morbius 2. Like but no one wants a Morbius 2. I don't care. That was the toy you picked out. Play with your toy. Like, stop adding more shit.
It's weird.
And I can't follow it anymore.
Yeah.
And it all feels so inconsistent where it's like, okay, so there was superhero shit back in the day, but like this takes place during the same timeline when Iron Man was like new and exciting to the world, and superheroes, like they're doing that thing where they're like, actually superheroes have always been around.
Well, I mean,
they've
done that. Like they've done that. Like the world was aware of Captain America in the 40s.
Right.
No, it was like covered up, wasn't it? It was weird. Where I thought it was, the idea was he wasn't like a super. I don't know. I guess you're right.
I mean, he was like
he
doing
disappeared.
The Punch Hitler USO show shit. Like
it's more
and
that
then he
thing
died.
where it's like, and then
right,
he died
but
and went
I'm
away
saying
for a while.
They knew a superhero existed. Is what I'm saying.
They knew a hero existed. I don't think they knew that he was, that ripped.
Yeah.
He was like a propaganda dude.
Fair.
Dude, imagine
But
just
also,
Chris
even if they
Evans
did,
walking
like-
around in the 40s. He would be a superhero, because they'd be like, that dude is too ripped.
Right,
That
yeah.
is insanely ripped.
They'd pick him out as a time traveler instantly.
Right.
Anyway, sorry, Dave.
No, it just all feels like it's falling apart with that because it's like, why didn't anybody talk about this?
It feels weird to focus it on Madam Web because the other hero characters in this film are Spider-Women characters. Like,
Right.
they're essentially like different, multiverse versions. Essentially, like the character Sydney Sweeney playing isn't. That's like she's her own character. She's not like a Peter Parker variant. But I think the two other characters are.
Right.
I think.
And then
no, they're not. But like, what I'm saying is, it's weird to focus it on Madam Web when you have 3 Spider-Women in the movie. It's like, why didn't you focus on one of the spider characters?
I don't know.
That
It's
can
really
like
fucking
leap
weird.
and shoot webs and do Spider-Man shit, the stuff that we like. Like, why wouldn't you focus this movie on one of those characters and you still have Madam Web in it, so it connects to everything? It's so weird to focus on Madam Web.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking at this point. I assume maybe it's more of an ensemble. Also, I just realized if this goes bad, they just go, oh, that was in another universe. Like, that's the thing they do. Like, I think as you pointed out, Venom, the first Venom, is clearly in the universe of Marvel's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then they just pretend it's in a different universe by the sequel, and you're like, when did that fucking happen? Like, they just sort of... Again, these are very like wishy-washy.
Yeah, if
we can easily just throw them away if they don't work out.
Right, to the point that they're literally self-contradictory, like you just said.
Right. And so, like, if they don't care, why should I?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
basically what it comes down to. Where they're like, here's Madam Web, but don't worry, if you don't like it, we'll just junk it. And I'm like, well, then I'm not going to see
Fuck
it.
you then, yeah.
Yeah,
why
good
would I want
pitch.
to watch it?
Good
Yeah.
way to pitch us.
Bold
Yeah.
move to kill Uncle Ben in a prequel, though. That hasn't been done yet.
Is that
mean-
what's happening in this?
That's all Uncle Ben ever has
That's all
done.
Uncle Ben does.
Like
Yeah.
he doesn't do anything other than die.
That is his lot in life.
Yeah.
would
So
be
I'm fine with it because it's just like, hey, Uncle Ben's doing his thing. You know?
They should hot tub time machine it where he keeps almost dying, or
Oh,
just
yeah.
have him
They
die
really
within
should.
the first 30 seconds of seeing him. One or the other.
Yeah, that's
You
great.
guys want to talk about this next trailer?
Yes,
Probably
please.
should.
Yeah. This is Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire. Like we know what any of that means.
First
I
of
love
all, that's too many titles.
That's too many titles.
Too many titles. Stop. Stop.
Okay,
Don't
this is
make part 1. Just go Rebel Moon, A Child of Fire, and that's already too much.
that's already tells us it's part 1. Anyway, this is Zack Snyder's big Netflix sci-fi space opera.
Is this based on anything?
No, this is an original thing. So I'm actually like not looking forward to watching this. Like
right.
it looks like a big action sci-fi epic directed by Zack Snyder. It's an original IP.
That I like.
I'm gonna watch this.
I wrote down immediately after I finished this trailer, I was like, Zack Snyder was denied a Star Wars, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm on two minds of it. Like anything to knock fucking superhero movies off. Like if Rebel Moon is the big new thing, cool. That's fine. But also, I don't think that's going to be the case.
Probably not, but, you know.
My note is, like, if you're making up your own world, use the trailer to tell us what's happening. Like, I kind of need to know, because my opinion on Zack Snyder is that, like, he's fine. Like, I told you, I liked his Justice League better than I liked the director's cut.
Because
It was genuinely a better film.
I like epics. I like his passion for epics. It feels like that he's being denied that because he's like locked into a streaming service. And then the Justice League was like put out on HBO. But also, like, I just found this to look like everything else, you know? Like, it has that gray-blue color. It's
A little bit.
A little
Kind of
bit,
just
not as much.
I kind of disagree with you. The blue drab stuff that you're pointing out, like, I see what you mean, but it's more visually striking than anything Marvel's done for maybe ever. Like,
oh, yes.
it's just a visually better film. It does overuse a bunch of stuff, but not like
But
J.J. Abrams.
It's not like Jurassic World.
No,
Yeah.
it's not derivative.
Exactly.
Like, it's definitely clearly an original story and stuff. I just mean like the visual style because he's just showing us visuals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
I'm
problem.
sort of like, spaceships. Or,
Yeah, I'm like,
I got the
dude,
general
horses,
sense
cool.
of like, okay, this is like a farm planet. They're getting hit by raiders who are clearly like the ruling power. Sophia Boutella, I think, is the character there. She's like, nah, fuck that, and rebellion, and now we've got a sweeping rebellion through space. That's basically what I gleaned from it. Also, there's robots, maybe some cult dudes. There's cool looking weird aliens.
It's like a
spider
Star
monster.
War.
Yeah, it's like a war of the stars.
There's spider
Dave.
monsters, and there's weird, like, what looks like mentors, possibly.
Gonna get a mentor.
There's got a mentor character.
Dispensing some wisdom.
Yes. I'm getting big Valerian or Jupiter Rising vibes because that's the one thing
Jupiter
about Zack Snyder.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Ascending. Sorry, Mercury Rising. I get those confused all the
thesaurus.
time. Zack Snyder loves to write all these cool ideas, but it's kind of like cocaine. It's just a serious number of ideas. So there's probably a cool concept at the bottom of this movie, like the movies I mentioned, but it'll be completely distracted by the sheer number of characters and offers in this movie, just to be like sci-fi. Oh fuck. And I just want a simple movie, even if it's epic. Just make them. That's what Star Wars did. That's why we love Star Wars.
Yes.
Or like make a Looper, people. You know?
Yeah, I feel like Zack Snyder at his heart is like a production designer, where he's like, I got real cool ideas for stuff, and I don't know how to put it all in. I don't know. Much like the Wachowskis, I really appreciate Zack Snyder taking these huge original swings, and I never want him to stop.
Yeah.
Just because some of those swings might not be for me doesn't mean I want him to stop. You know what I mean?
I'd rather people be allowed to do swings, even if it's for the. It's kind of especially for the blockbuster movie, because there's like a trickle down effect of. I mean, hypothetically, maybe Marvel has taken that away from our culture now, but like just the concept of you make a movie that is really original, it'll cause people to be like crave original movies a little bit more. And like, I hadn't seen that before. What else haven't I seen before? Even if it's for, I don't know, even if Zack Snyder's just doing a formula and it's a blockbuster formula, it can still be better than what we have, I guess.
Yeah, I think his short game's the issue. And what I mean by that is like Army of the Dead. Is that what it was called? Like Vegas zombie
Army of the Dead.
Heist. Cool idea. And then you watch it and you're like, there's some plot holes in this. Or Batman v Superman, you watching it and you're like, Martha, what the fuck? Meaning that like he has these grand cool ideas, but he can't execute it scene by scene a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like there'll be some silly shit in there. And like again, I appreciate his Justice League vision. I also know why that shit failed, because people went to see a Superman movie and got like a 4-hour epic.
Right.
That's really drab and everybody's very serious. And so like this does feel like where he belongs, right? Is like, yeah, make your own serious drab.
Yeah, I'm asking myself
world.
the question, who's the most compelling Zack Snyder character of all of his movies?
Fuck.
And I can't. That's the problem, right?
Yeah. I mean, shit.
Maybe Leonidas
I liked
or
his
whatever.
Character, well, I liked his characters in Dawn of the Dead, but
they were all
I liked
characters.
the guy who worked at Best Buy who was thrust into the zombie apocalypse and was surprisingly good at it. Like
that's right.
Yeah,
there's
but
some
then,
charm there.
As it goes, he likes to tell like fables.
Oh gosh, I'm blanking on his name. The guy from House of Cards. He plays the mall security guard in Dawn of the Dead. He's incredible.
Yeah, he's great too.
There's some compelling supporting roles that I'm sure are being. Well, I don't know
but
how it works.
your point is
my point is they're
stands.
usually vessels for exposition and cool factor.
Also, did he write Dawn of the Dead?
I don't know.
I don't believe
but
so.
it's
I'm
his
not
interest
sure.
at
No,
this
he didn't.
point. He
No,
made-
James
Not
Gunn
right
did,
down.
right?
Yeah,
That's right.
probably. That's why. Yeah. Yeah, James Gunn.
Yeah, he thought of
wrote Dawn
little
of the Dead.
side characters who would be like, let's laugh at that for 10 seconds and move on.
I think he might have also Shyamalan issue, which is like, maybe don't write your stuff, Zack Snyder, because he's a great visual director, and I really do think he thinks in terms of like broad fables, where he doesn't think in characters, right? They're symbols on screen, which is why his Justice League is so big and epic but feels so empty, because he can't like make them out to be like human.
Right, he was
like characters.
He was really leaning into the idea of the new gods and new mythology, and
to their credit, Marvel focuses on character a lot, which is probably why they managed to survive much longer, right? Like it's all about charisma for Marvel. It's all
Right,
about,
it's not an
let's
abstract
make these people
idea.
Likable.
Or not abstract, but it's a more focused, an idea that has broader appeal for sure.
Right. And I obviously there's problems with that. And they're seeing more and more problems and diminishing returns. But it's funny
when everyone's
because I think
when everyone's the same character, that's the problem they're running into in Marvel.
But I think
I
I think the way Zack Snyder envisions like the epicness of superheroes is more spot on. It's just there's no personality to it.
Yeah.
I think ultimately.
Yeah,
It's
and a
just,
lot
like,
of it
not
comes
fun.
from like the Henry Cavills and stuff. Like there's good ideas. He's had like I love in Man of Steel the whole, like alien morality versus, human morality. What's the better morality to have? But that's a Superman thing. That's not
Right.
necessarily him thing. He just played it well because he actually understood it and was interested in telling that story. I don't think he's that interested in anything that is an archetypal, like you're saying.
Yeah. I think he's a little Lucas-y, right? Where he doesn't quite understand people or I shouldn't say that. I don't know the guy. He just doesn't seem to write
It's
characters.
not what he's interested in doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't seen it.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah, you guys want to talk about Saltburn? I've been wanting to talk about Saltburn since the strike
we
started.
watched this trailer for a couple of months now.
Yeah, it's coming out like this weekend.
Yeah, it's like out now.
Yeah.
I love the idea behind this movie.
I had a party house growing up, and it was just like this.
Yeah,
It was.
like
You
a
had
lot- no.
Rosamund Pike and just some teens.
being a really weird, cool mom at
Yeah.
this sprawling mansion. Yeah, this
I
looks
kept thinking-
creepy and weird. I'm into it.
Yeah. I kept thinking about the idea of like they're having these weird psychological fucked up parties, and then the parents will put her downstairs like, "Don't mind us,"
With
and
with
like
s'mores
go back
or
upstairs to watch
pizzas and
Frasier.
shit. Yeah.
Sure, you're
Yeah.
raw dogging it.
Because that's what's funny. They treating this like it's fucking like this mysterious, creepy mansion that'll change your life, but someone's watching Frasier in bed in here.
Yeah.
Like they have.
Somebody statistically, yeah.
Have you ever gone to like a rich person's fancy house before?
Yes.
The
Many.
one I
I'm very-
experienced,
Sort
they
of.
100% had like a part of
Mid-level
the house
rich person.
right. They always have a part of the house that's like, and this is where we actually live. Does that, you know what I mean? Where it's like, and this is where the actual living happens. This is like the fancy room that we do a party at. But
See,
here's where it actually is functional.
You haven't been to that shows what level of rich you've been to.
Yeah,
there's
I've
a
not
level
been
of
to that
rich.
house.
There's a level of rich where they're like, this is the part that we'll show you
right.
where we live. It's not actually where we live. We constructed this event
That's
just
what I
for this
mean.
moment.
That's what I mean. It's like this. There's like the fake house that's for guests, and then like I knew people. They weren't that rich, but they had that. And then one time I went over for like regular hanging out, and they're like, "Let's go down to the actual like living room."
Yeah,
and
where
it was,
we're
like,
actually
just a den
goblins.
with- yeah, exactly.
This is the candy drawer.
So I couldn't help but to think about that this whole through this trailer.
I hope this movie is one of two things. I hope that it's talented Mr. Ripley, and he just talented Mr. Ripley's the shit out of these cruel intentions, or the movie is just the Banshee of Inisherin just fucking his way through the mansion and he goes home. No conflicts, just hardcore penetration.
Oh yeah,
Those are the two movies I find
hardcore
acceptable. Because
penetration.
we
Either
kind of
one,
know what it's going to be,
Picture
right?
of the year.
Picture of the year, exactly. Either one, slam dunk. Let's go home.
I'm so excited. I mean, he fucking what's his name there?
Barry Keoghan.
Keegan has been killing it. He's like, he's one of those people where I'm like, I can't fucking wait for the next 50 years of your career.
Yeah,
like you're gonna be great.
choosing. Like, I like that he's choosing bold movies. I like that he's like not oversaturating the market. I don't
Yeah.
think that may have been a problem with him anyway. But like, it's just I'm getting real like. What vibes? Jake Gyllenhaal vibes, you know, like you're picking some bangers. I think you're gonna have. Maybe it's not this movie, but there's a movie down like the line 3 movies that is gonna be so fucking awesome.
Right. When he didn't win for Best Supporting Actor, my thought was just like, that's fine, man. You'll get it.
You're gonna be.
You'll get
fine.
it a few times.
You killed it. You did the job.
Yeah. This is writer director of Promising Young Woman.
Yeah, Emerald Fennell.
Yeah, which
who's
was
in
good, right?
who's
I
in
haven't
Barbie?
seen it.
She's in Barbie.
Oh,
that's-
nice.
She's
she's an actress.
She's Midge. She's pregnant Midge. In
Oh.
Barbie. Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah.
I can't fucking wait for this movie.
Yeah, I'm watching this
Yeah, it
movie.
looks nuts. And I've heard.
And I don't like teens. I don't like rich people.
Right.
I've heard it does maybe not a similarly bold thing, but I've heard that this movie is striking in a way that Promising Young Woman was striking.
Oh, okay.
Specifically, how that film ended and how bold that ending was.
So this is gonna go
Let's
nuts.
do it.
Sweet.
Let's
Yeah.
all meet up and let's do Saltburn together.
Hell yeah!
Right.
Let's do Saltburn.
God,
It's
I want to live in a Saltburn house.
Me too.
So
We could
bad.
do that. We could do that.
We could create our
Yeah.
own salt.
I
But
want
you know
people
what?
to be like,
That,
how rich are you? And you're like, I have Saltburn
that's
money.
just swinger party energy, though. At our age, we're just.
No,
you
I'd
know,
be the parent.
That's
and
what
I
I'm
wouldn't even
saying.
have kids.
This should be our retirement plan. Is we all
Right.
just go
Tom's into
in
it.
together on a Saltburn house,
Yeah.
and
Hire
we
a
all
bunch
just
of
have our own
college
little
kids to party.
Exactly. The front of the house can be where the college kids party, and the back of the house can be all the small, modest dens where we actually are sitting and watching Frasier.
Exactly. Yes.
And we're too tired to hunt or do whatever aristocrats have done for hundreds of years.
And we just die in our cubby rooms.
I don't know,
Yeah.
put
And they
on-
never find us.
irritate
We become
foxes. I
myths.
think that's one thing they do.
yeah,
Harass
irritate them.
foxes.
Oh, yeah.
Ah! Yeah.
Speaking of darkness, this next one is the Garfield movie, starring Christopher Pratt as Chris Pratt.
Yes.
He's not even doing the Mario voice. He's just doing like.
Garfield
Also,
voice.
I think this is just called. Is this just called Garfield?
No, I
How
think
many?
I think it's called the Garfield movie, isn't it?
Okay, because
I think
there's a
it's the Gar-
Or like
2024
Garfield the
thing.
movie.
All right, I'm finding there's a 2024 thing here. Yeah, no, it's called Garfield on IMDb. The original title is the Garfield movie. Nicholas Hoult is John. So
Sure.
Sure.
yeah, what?
All right.
I mean,
I'm going
this... Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to bat for Pratt on this one. This is not Mario, and I'm already seeing the outrage cycle online.
For
Where it's-
Pratt.
but here's the thing. Garfield sucks. okay?
Exactly.
He's like this.
Garfield
Read how he
sucks.
talks in the
This-
comic.
This
you
is
know?
the perfect Garfield movie. Garfield is the most
Yep.
plastic, hollow, commercial property. Jim
Vapid.
Davis created it to make millions of dollars on
And he
merchandise
achieved it.
and greeting cards and shit.
Well,
like,
hold
this is
on.
a perfect Garfield movie.
This is what
I-
you signed up for, Garfield fans.
Yeah.
I don't think you're wrong. I want to push back a little bit because the problem isn't that it's Chris Pratt. When I heard Chris Pratt was doing the voice, I was like, yeah, that works. It's like a very dry, like Bill Murray was the other Garfield voice,
and
right? And
Lorenzo
it's like obviously,
music on all the specials in the cartoon show.
yeah,
which
like
is
dry, sarcastic.
real
What's
low
weird
key, low register too.
right, and he's kind of not doing that here.
No.
That's why it's bothered by it. Is like his vocal inflection in the trailer was like, "Oh, you're doing like too excitable." I'm also listen. I'm not a big Garfield guy, but you could make John be eating lasagna at the beginning instead of the pizza, right?
It's-
Just have him eat the lasagna.
I was genuinely
I mean, they got-
surprised when it was
whatever.
pizza.
Yeah,
That's-
and
it's
they
weird
show him
that it's
later
pizza.
eating lasagna. And also, I don't think Garfield's a street cat. The whole point of Garfield is that he sucks. He's more like a you get him from like a breeder cat, right?
Sure.
He
yeah.
has breeder vibes. So making him like this like scrappy, I don't know,
Didn't Heathcliff corner that market though?
Well,
maybe. It just
Heathcliff
feels like it
did.
betrays the character of Garfield.
Well,
Versus movie.
again, Garfield is whatever you want him to be, baby. Like that's
yeah.
Jim Davis's philosophy. I don't think Garfield
Oh,
has
yeah.
like an established origin.
There's no, there's
Like,
no
he's whatever the fuck
Doc.
is gonna make me the most money, baby.
Yeah,
That's what
because he's-
Garfield is.
because like the older movies, the 2000s ones or whatever, the Bill
Mm-hmm.
Murray ones, those they were playing into the fact that he's got lazy. Lazy is on the docket for Garfield, 100%.
Yeah, that's his.
But if you read
yeah.
the comics, he's also a sassy ass motherfucker who's got observations that are like, I don't know, 80s comedian observations, like, or even earlier, like Rodney Dangerfield level, like,
Oh yeah,
what a world, it's that kind of shit.
Garfield's one of those properties that it's like they should have blown up the way it is. It's such low hanging fruit where it's like it's a cat.
But
And
kids
it's
are
sassy.
gonna,
and it's like, yep, that's good enough. Oh yeah, no, we had Garfield
extremely
books as a kid.
marketable.
We read.
I was a Garfield
Sunday
family.
morning.
I didn't
watched
realize
Garfield
how
and
terrible it
Friends.
was
Yeah.
until I got a Far Side in me. But man, oh man.
I will defend some of Garfield, never the writing. But there are there's funny illustrations in there. Like Garfield only really ever made me laugh with the physical humor, like the sight gags.
The sight gag.
He's really good at like drawing John leaving for a date in like a leisure suit on roller skates or something, and just looking like a dipshit.
I mean, that's the reason Garfield minus Garfield was so much better,
Right?
Because it was like
it's fantastic.
Just
Work of
for the
comedy.
record,
Hollow sounds of his madness. Yeah.
Garfield was born June 19th, 1978, so he is dead. Garfield's dead. In the kitchen of an Italian restaurant. Hence, why he has
They explain
the
in
taste for
lasagna,
lasagna.
yeah.
He was named after Jim Davis's grandfather. Sure. Let's see. And then because of his large appetite, the restaurant had to choose between giving him away or closing the restaurant, so he was sold to a pet shop. This
Holy
seems
fuck.
to merge those things, because like he's outside of a
Like he's an
Italian
orphan.
place.
He's been
Yeah,
orphaned.
but
Yeah.
like this is the better version. Is like, oh yeah, he was pampered at this Italian restaurant, like lusted for lasagna and had to be sold. But they made it like this hybrid where it's like he's the sad cat outside of an Italian restaurant, probably eating the scraps, and that's how he likes lasagna. I don't know.
I mean, I don't
Seems too
give a
gritty for
shit
me. Too
about
gritty.
the lore for Garfield. I like it
Too
when
gritty
movies
for
do
me.
a simple, like heartwarming, like short, just to build empathy for the characters. Yeah, do that more. I mean, kids' movies, keep it simple.
Apparently and then his long lost father stuff. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Again, it's Garfield's whatever, baby. Whatever you want.
100%.
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want. He's gonna
He can
he's
do
gonna
it.
slop it down into his Garfield belly. There is a title card screen, or not? There's a super in the trailer that I want to point out, and all it says is, "Does your cat act like Garfield?" ? And I swear to fucking God, I could talk for hours about the person who thought of this line and how it went through all the QA a trailer goes through, and it hit my fucking eyeballs, and I am incensed. I am mad. I am so mad that this is reality and this is the world. Fuck that. Does your cat act like Garfield? What a fucking... It's like a TikTok. I feel... You know what movies are starting to do?
It's like try to guess this trivia. Like it's
the last one will fucking blow your mind.
Exactly.
You know, it's that
like
kind
it's
of
this
shit.
clickbait. It's
It's
very
like
clickbait.
don't treat me like a fucking automaton,
It's
you
like
assholes.
my cat. Yeah,
Does
no,
your
they're
cat-
aiming for children, and then like
Right.
the lowest of the low.
Which
Like,
is
they're aiming for the stupidest children.
the dumbest children and the dumbest families.
This movie, this is a true fact. True fact. This movie will make $1 billion.
I'm so fucking cynical.
1 billion.
1
exactly.
billion.
Because
Yeah, no,
Garfield's
it's-
whoever you want him to be, baby.
Take
Yeah.
it to the bank, baby.
Oh yeah, he's Mickey Mouse.
Billions.
I disagree, Tom. I think Garfield is a very distinct character.
There are two distinct things about him. He eats constantly and he's very lazy.
Right. Very distinct.
But he's also sassy. He's sassy to
He is
John.
He's
Very
sassy, but he's
sassy.
sarcastic.
He's
He's
very
sarcastic.
sassy.
He hates the spider. He hates Nermal.
Yeah, and fuck normal.
he
No,
doesn't
or
like
Odie.
Odie?
Odie. Or is
It's weird that he's getting along with Odie in this. I just think they fucked up his character a little bit. That's all.
All right. Don't see it.
He's got to be
I'm gonna
nice,
be-
I won't.
Dave. He's got to be
gonna be-
nice for the
I'm-
kids to go see it.
I'm
Yeah.
first in line because, frankly, Garfield
Listen.
acts like my cat.
At this pace, this podcast is going to be 5 hours long, so let's
keep
move
going.
on.
Oh my God! Wicked Little Letters. This is as British as it gets.
Holy shit, this looks amazing.
I can't fucking wait for this movie.
Yeah, this looks good. So Olivia Colman and Jesse Buckley and old-timey, but not super old-timey. I guess like 19th century. And
I think it's modern England. That's
And
my
someone
guess.
there's a
It's
small
not
town and
modern.
someone's sending letters that are saying shit like, "You stinky little bitch."
Yeah. She's getting
They're
fucking
wicked
hate
little
mail.
letters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about this seemingly kind lady who's getting fucking hate mail. And it seems like she's going around to figure it out. She's realizing more and more, I think, that people just hate her, is the vibe I got.
I think that she's just like, oh, I like to let loose, because Jessie Buckley is clearly the character who's just like, I'm going to headbutt people or say crazy things and live life. You know, it's going to definitely be one of those feel good. Well, we'll see. We'll see. It definitely
Olivia
sets
Colman
it up.
and Jessie Buckley, man.
That's an
great combo.
Awesome combo. It is 1920s.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Just seems like modern England
This
to
is
me.
my favorite brand of Olivia Colman as well.
Yeah.
Like where she's like a little awkward and very funny.
Oh yeah. It's got a few. It has at least one Harry Potter in it.
There's a Timothy Spall in there.
Yeah. There's probably more than one Harry.
I mean,
Potter.
it's a British movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then fucking Jessie Buckley. I've only really seen in Men, and she was good in that. And now I'm like, ooh, I want more comedy. You know?
Yeah, she seems very like she seems effortlessly doing this role.
Yeah,
which
I
she's
need her to
typically
blow up.
done sad sex. So I'm happy to
like
see
what
this.
was I'm thinking of Ending Things.
Oh, she was in that.
yeah,
I've seen her in a few things. And Chernobyl, she was in that. Yeah, she's great.
That's right, she's in Chernobyl. I forgot.
She was
Yeah, a
also
bunch
in
of sad
Doolittle.
sex.
Yeah,
That's true,
Doolittle,
yeah.
which is a real bummer.
Doolittle, an incredible film.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wicked Little Letters, good as shit. That
Next
button
one.
at the end is a Simpsons joke, but that's fine.
As I put in the notes, they don't watch The Simpsons in England. They don't
True,
get it
they've
yet.
never heard of it. You know,
Never heard of
hasn't
this.
made its way, hasn't crossed the pond yet.
Yeah.
The joke is, the Bart, the...
Right? Yeah, it says
yeah.
she comes to her door and it says "Die slut," and she says, "Oh, it's German."
Yeah.
It's a good joke.
Solid
is.
joke.
Next trailer is for Finestkind. One word for some reason.
Because it's the name of the
Thomas
boat, Dave.
is-
It's the name of the boat.
Thomas and Lee Jones.
His son, Benethan Foster.
Benethan Foster. I love that Tommy Lee Jones is just an old sourpuss. Should just be a full blown genre at this point.
Yeah, man. I'm Dave. This is a movie for us, and they don't put these
this
in
is
theaters
dad film.
anymore. It's such a dad film. It's all of us.
Yeah,
Writer,
we're all
director of A
gonna
Knight's
watch
Tale.
this movie and
Yeah,
be
it's
like, yes.
director of A Knight's Tale. Yeah, it's Tommy Lee
Yes.
Jones is like, they're gonna take my fishing boat, and Ben Foster's like, they're not gonna take your
God.
fishing boat, Dad. And then he gets in trouble, so he's like, we're gonna
He
deal
gets
some
in trouble.
drugs just this one time, so they don't take your fishing boat, Dad.
Right.
Yep, and we're gonna be
Awesome.
like dads and sons. Yeah.
Also, we're going to listen to that new Sensation song on a loop.
We sure are.
Because this entire trailer, that was the weirdest thing to me about this trailer.
that it was
they,
set
like,
to New
picked that-
Sensation.
Yeah, they picked that song and they're like, that's going to be, they like sing to it in the trailer. And like and then it gets like darker, like the song. And it's like, so, all right. Like that, you shot your shot. That's the song you picked and you're going to fucking keep it.
Directors of A Knight's Tale, dude.
I
know.
know.
There should be a Tommy Lee Jones dance number in this.
There better be. Yeah,
Tommy
this-
Lee Jones dancing to Dua Lipa.
This is the poster is of a boat and it's framed by a gun. And it's like, yeah, this is a fucking thriller.
Hell yeah. Coming to Paramount Plus, though, sadly.
Yeah.
We're not going to get any more The Fugitives, guys. They're never going to
Not
put
in
another The
theaters.
Fugitive in theaters.
I would. Yeah. I'm just gonna sound like an old man. That's all. We could reboot The Fugitive, right? Fugitive 2.
They made, I think they didn't they
They did a
remake
Quibi
the
one.
show?
Yeah, they did a Quibi one with Kiefer Sutherland.
God damn
Yeah.
it.
God, what a piece of shit
damn
that
it.
sounds like.
What is
We're all-
hell rot?
At least I'm pretty sure that
Quibi.
happened.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds so
Fuck,
much like
yeah, I
something
could
that
be
would
totally
happen.
making that up and no one would ever know. That would
I
make
got-
it into like a nonfiction book about Quibi.
Jesus. I got questions for God. That's all I'm saying.
No, God's too busy making finest
I
kind.
think that's a Fiona Apple song.
Yeah. Yeah, this is gonna be great. I
yeah.
have nothing else to say for
Yeah,
the.
it's gonna be a solid fucking Ben Foster, Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, I mean,
movie.
the cast is fucking outrageously good.
Yeah,
Ben
Jenna
Foster
Ortega's
feels
in
like-
there too.
Yeah. So it's going to be good. It's probably going to be captivating for the 2 hours and 15 minutes it is.
I feel like Ben Foster's like he looks himself in the mirror every day and he's like, "Come on, be 60 already."
Yeah.
Like he's just like itching to be that like a grumpy old actor who's in westerns.
It's like, there's so much money when I'm 50.
Yeah, exactly.
He does manage to perfect the best kind of weirdo for the current age demographic he's in.
Yeah.
He's successfully done it for 2 decades now.
Yeah, I think Ben Foster, he had a crossroads, I think, where like probably at some point in his life he was like, maybe I could be like a leading guy, and someone like set him aside and they're like, you're a weirdo, you creep us out, you stick with that,
Which is
do
the
that.
best.
And he's like, okie doke, and he's doing great.
Everyone should be weirdos. It's excellent.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's fantastic.
Like he did Angel and X-Men 3, and then after that it was just like all weirdos.
Yep.
Yep. All just like
Never
all right,
looking back.
Never looking back, baby. Just gonna rob a bank all the time.
He's always robbing banks.
He loves robbing banks.
He's I love because
He
he's
has
always
bank robber
he's always like a
face.
brother who's into who does a crime. Like
It's
that's his
I
archetype.
was just thinking
Yeah.
the perfect way to describe the kind of actor he is that I think he holds a gun in 90% of the movies he's in, and none of them are action movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got dirtbag face.
Right.
He has I'm gonna die in this movie face.
Right. Or if
yeah.
not, if he's not the bad guy, just straight up. Just
Yeah.
like,
Ben Foster.
which I think he is in the Bruce Willis movie Hostage, I think.
Probably.
Anyway.
Well, speaking of dad films, next one is Occupied City. I looked it up. This is a over 4-hour documentary made by Steve McQueen about Amsterdam during the Nazi occupation.
Yeah.
Which also has some it also explores the recent pandemic years. The original cut was something like 36 hours, according to Steve
That's
McQueen.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
It's pretty long.
Real
boldness.
dad film energy. This
Real
documentary.
Ken Burns energy, yeah.
Yeah.
put it
I was
out,
like,
man.
just make us,
Yeah.
put out a miniseries.
Fuck it.
I think it's gonna make you think too much.
I'm
probably.
really interested in this. Like, this is...
I mean, I think in a good way. Have
yeah,
you seen Dog Days?
No.
Have you Dog Days? It gives me that vibe, but that's with Germany. And it's just like people stuck in like this weird modern like panopticon / like everyone hates it here, but also they're trying their best. And that's what documentaries are, right? Just, hey, this is fucked.
This feels like, perfect for Steve McQueen, who's loves making us feel bad. I haven't seen one of his movies since Shame. I think because you got Fassbender's Dong, and you're like, I don't know if it can get any better.
Yeah,
you know?
you're like,
you can't peak.
Peak, yeah.
Hopefully his Dong will be in this. But
I mean, it is Amsterdam.
That's what it's
Yeah.
being occupied by.
He's just gonna be on the streets hanging down.
hanging Dong.
But no, this is like
This looks fucking legit. It also looks exhausting.
It does, but like I've got like family around this area of Europe. This is some branches of my family come from. So this, I don't know. It's just I really want to watch this movie. Yeah.
Yeah, what I'd say is it got better when I read the synopsis, because at first I was like, is this just like generically about World War II, or I didn't catch Amsterdam, I guess, from the trailer. Maybe that's just me.
Oh.
And then learning that it's like we're focusing on a very specific area. And I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds fascinating. Yeah.
That was in the trailer.
Yeah, I must have missed that.
It's called Occupied City, but it's fine.
Well, yeah, I knew. Yeah, all right. Just calm down, everybody. This next trailer is for Sometimes I Think About Dying. Daisy Ridley. Really coming off of Star Wars. I just watched They Clone Tyrone with John Boyega, and like you get this vibe that they're all just kind of coming off of Star Wars. Like, oh, that was rough.
Yeah. Let's
this
do
looks-
some work.
Yeah, this looks
Make
quirky.
something weird. Yeah, this is seems like a real low budget movie about an awkward romance blooming between two people in an office workplace, and has a lot of, I guess, depressive ideations. It seems like the trailer seems to show her like picturing herself like beneath a tree in the woods, or like in other positions like that where she's like isolated. And
I've known people who've done this, literally thought about dying, and it's like it's weird. It's like not suicidal. At least I don't want to speak for everybody, but like it's almost about like the peacefulness of the environment or something like that. I mean, it depends on the person, obviously, and that's the vibe I get from this. Is like she literally thinks about laying somewhere and being just
giving up,
existing. Yeah, and I think I get that where it's like when you get older, you're like, when did I ever have a day where I could just like sit and like sit outside for hours, and just like exist. Yeah.
I have no interest in seeing this.
It's too quirky.
It's another one of those movies where it's just like, you want sad? We got sad. And it's just like, let's make it visually sad.
When I watched the trailer, I was like, Abe hates this. Yeah. That was my thought, because it feels a little twee. Like
it's a little twee.
Because I didn't get sad from it. I did get a little twee from it though.
It's sad twee. Maybe I don't know what twee is.
Just like
all I know,
it's twee.
I knows it when I sees it.
Yeah.
It had twee. It had twee in the way they're talking, because they're not talking like humans,
Yeah,
or at least especially
right.
she's not. And it's all like, look how quirky I am. And I'm like, I get it.
I'm sure there's going to be
quirky.
a great twee movie that comes out, and I'm going to miss it because I'm just going to turn off when it happens.
Because you're going to be too much of a grumpus, man.
Yeah, too much of a grumpus. I don't think it's this one, though.
Casting frowns all over town.
Yeah, dude. I guess I'm the real emo boy.
Yeah,
I'm the true sadness.
Maybe you were the sad boy all along.
I couldn't enjoy eternal sunshine of the spotless mind.
I'm on I'm on this movie's side because I'm on Daisy Ridley's side, because I feel like it's like the Harry Potter of it, where Daniel Radcliffe gets like, he has to be Harry Potter for so long, and then he moves away, and then he gets to do all these weird things and just sit on his money. It feels like Daisy Ridley didn't get that quite enough. She got 3 Star Wars that weren't very good. They weren't her fault, but a lot of people probably act like they are. It is her fault, like she probably got a lot of hate, and then she's like, I just got to get the fuck away. And then she signed up for Star Wars Episode 10 still, and I'm like, fuck, man. I just wish her the best. I hope she like moves to Mexico and gets away from it all, because I just have that like vibe that I'm like, I bet she's really fucking tired of this shit.
And I think she's doing the Daniel Radcliffe thing with her career. She's like, well, I don't think, like, that's my blockbuster. I got a lot of money. It's great. Good for me. If I want to keep acting and I want to keep having a job, I'm never gonna be that again. I'm now that is I got one shot. That's how this shit works.
And why would you seek that out after? I don't know. I mean,
although what's funny is, like, I think so. She's done almost all indies since Star Wars, but then she also did Chaos Walking. So there was her going like, maybe this, and then nope.
I mean, if the money comes knocking,
that Chaos Walking was famously delayed by several years.
Oh, she was probably contractually tied. You're right.
Or they were filming that at the same, you get it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just like, after you do a big blockbuster trilogy, like she did a Star Wars trilogy. So it's like, man, what other blockbuster could you want to do after that?
It reminds me how,
like, regardless of how the experience was, like, well, fuck, I did that already.
Yeah. It reminds me how, like, when Jon Stewart retired, he grew a beard, right? When David Letterman retired, he grew a beard. When Trevor Noah just not retired, but left the Daily Show, he grew a beard. And that's because if talk show hosts aren't allowed to have facial hair. And so it's kind of that, where it's like, that's the first thing they do. They're like, yes, finally.
I thought you were saying Daisy Ridley should grow a beard.
No, I think there's just that feeling, and she's just like, yes, indie, fuck it. She was in the biggest, stupidest thing for years. So, yeah.
Yeah. Very sad.
I mean...
You know what's not sad?
Yeah.
Actually, you know what's extremely sad?
Right.
Our next trailer.
This looks awesome.
This has been on my radar for a while, and it's weird to be excited for it, but this is called The Zone of Interest. Everybody go watch the trailer. It's from the director of Under the Skin and Sexy Beast, and I feel like I don't have to say anything else.
Right. It's going to be wild.
Yeah.
It's about a general and higher up who works at Auschwitz, who lives next to the camp with his family. I assume moved there for work, and it's about the family living at this nice house where right next door atrocities are happening, and they're essentially just trying to like build a life for themselves while completely ignoring their complicity in one of the worst things humanity has ever done.
Having Christmases and,
Yeah. this is coming out for Christmas, so that's nice. But it's very like sadly relevant, right? It's about the idea of how people can just live their lives while they're complicit. Although like with the kids and I'm sure his wife, it's, you know, it's varying levels of complicity, but like
Right.
while this amazingly horrific thing is happening right
But
next
like,
door.
yeah, there's a shot of what looks like it's a kid who has found golden teeth.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, oh, you have in your house artifacts of atrocious murder and genocide. Cool. This
Can't stress
is how you're raised.
Yeah. It's the director of Under the Skin. Look up the poster. The poster is perfect. It kind of tells you everything you need to know. It shows like their backyard and it's really nice. And then the sky is just blacked out, meaning like they're like nothing. There's nothing out there. Like they're
Nothing, yeah.
ignoring it all.
It's just this is the only thing. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
it's
and
it's not only complicity, but like what you can just get used to.
yeah.
Blindness, yeah. That's fan. Yeah, what a great poster.
Yeah. It's gonna be fucking gut wrenching. It's gonna be
Yep.
It's probably gonna end
really
horribly.
good though.
It's
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
be-
I
gonna
mean-
be fun in the bun.
I don't know if you've Googled the Nazis. It doesn't end well, you know?
I seem to have missed that chapter.
Yeah. It reminds me a little, not just because of the subject matter, but because of the perspective of something like Downfall, which is another interesting movie because it shows you like how it was kind of a cult, you know, like it shows you the inside where it's like, we're not condoning them. They're the people we're following, but obviously we're following them not because they're good people. And we're just showing like how their brains.
Well, yeah,
did
it was
this.
fanatical
You know?
idea. It's a
Yeah, it's like,
fanatical
how did-
ideology, but we talk about it. We tend to talk about it so in such removed language in a lot of ways that I
Yeah.
feel like that does get lost. Where it's like, no, these were fanatics.
Right, and it's important to see that perspective. And like this, it feels like they're going to show how mundane
Yeah.
it can feel at the time for them. Like that's the vibe it
Yeah,
feels like,
cult-
because they're having
cult
like
shit.
little dinner parties and stuff next to Auschwitz. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, the one shot that really got me was, I think it's the Christmas scene. You can hear screaming faintly through the walls.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun in the bun.
Fun in
Yeah.
a bun.
This is
the
probably
kind
gonna
of movies
be-
we like.
This is probably going to be the best movie of the year in my opinion.
We'll see.
It's weird to call that ahead of time, but like I'm just like fuck, man. This
The
person has
pedigree
never
of the
made a movie I
filmmaker,
did.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
I mean,
I've always liked their movies.
the
This is
concepts
such
at
a-
play like are already so available just by the idea itself that you're just like, that is a great idea for a movie. There could be movies that will come out that were like, oh, I didn't know in the trailer you were gonna do that. That might be more excellent. But
right.
this
I mean,
is
when's
definitely
Garfield
up there.
coming out?
I know, right? They're really
Not
pushing
soon enough.
Garfield.
Garfield.
Garf.
Garf.
See, zone of interest. It's in my zone of interest.
Nice.
The
nice.
Dave Zone.
Let's move
Lost
on.
all steam. All right, let's thank some more producers before we do some more trailers. Big thank you to Davey, the ghost of East Las Vegas, Francis.
Thank
you. Thank you to David Knife Boot Henson.
Thank
you. Thank you to Deborah is awesome, Barbara is great, and cancer can go to hell.
Thank you.
Thank you to Dracula, the bus driving vampire.
Toot toot.
Thank you to Driftless says, long live the new flesh.
Thank you.
Thank you to E.T., the extravagant terrestrial.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Exploding Runes.
Thank you.
Thank you to Funky J Mostly Comes Out at Night.
Thank
mostly.
you so much.
Thank you to Heathcliff's Helping Handfuls.
Thank you.
Thank you to ImpossibleWorlds.net. Issue 3 is out now. Gorge yourself on our fiction. Gorge.
Gorge. Let me swoop in here. Thank you to Jay the Crow says, it's my birthday month. Give your local Corvids a shiny rock.
Thank you.
Thank you to Chris Shanovich.
Thank you.
Thank you to Look Mom on a podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mabel. Step on me. Step on me.
On me.
Thank you to Mackenzie. Fuck shuffling with Willem Dafoe's confusingly large dick. Chill.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mercurial Oz.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mike the Lurker.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mongolian Throat Skanking.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mr. Tell Your Wife how many Patreon subscriptions you have before you agree to buy a house.
Thank you.
And thank you to musical guest Rob Ritchie.
Thank you. Oh, right. More trailers. Fall
More
Guy.
trailers.
The Fall Guy.
The Fall Guy.
With Ryan Gosling.
They have been
who's-
struggling to make this into a movie for, I feel like, forever.
Really?
What's so important about it?
It was a TV show. That's all.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just thought this was like an idea that someone had and said, "Yeah, that's amazing."
I mean, it is technically it is an idea that somebody had.
But I mean, it was just like, I don't know, at the end of a bender or something like that.
I don't like what the TV show promises looking that up, because I thought the general idea was a stuntman, because Ryan Gosling loves to play stuntmen apparently, who has to be thrown into action and is like not like thrilled
Yeah.
about it.
That's what the
Like,
movie is. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the idea of a stuntman who is concerned for safety, having to do stuff, and he's like, I don't like this. Like I do stunts in a like contained environment, right? Like I liked that idea where it's because it means like they can still kind of fight and do stuff, but again, they're not really that, and I like that dynamic.
We seem
The
to have
TV show apparently he just moonlights as a bounty hunter.
Right.
All the
and like
time.
he does it. Yeah. I guess this is like his origin story, but
Yeah.
you know, a funny version.
Director of Bullet Train and Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's one of the John Wick guys.
Yeah.
It seems that we've developed a taste for this, or Hollywood thinks so. Like, Swain pointed this out on we have a trailer show now, a video show on Small Beans, and we covered this one. And like the unbearable weight of massive talent. Oh, action playboy has to become real action guy. It's real tongue in cheek.
Right.
I'm just an NPC energy. You know, like that seems to be a thing that we really like right now, or they're making that.
Right.
Because also Free Guy. This reminds me of like Free Guy with
The Lost City.
Yeah. Also, all those movies have something in common, except for Unbearable Weight, that this is real nitpicky, but this director has it in Bullet Train and this. The Netflix lighting, you know what I'm talking about? Where it's like very bright and cartoony. And like, I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it because I feel like I just insulted like Zack Snyder for doing the opposite. So it's like, what do I like?
No, it's oversaturation. It's in the opposite direction, frankly.
I think it's because it's a specific color temperature. You know how like every poster was yellow and blue for a while?
Yeah, sure.
Like it's that where they're using like a specific color temperature, like kind of a purplish, reddish, and then and I just keep seeing it. So these all kind of bleed together in my mind visually, which doesn't mean the movie's bad.
No, it's.
It
I
means
mean,
nothing. Actually,
I would say it's
No.
less about color contrast and more about like
Yeah.
the ratios of lighting contrast. Like so, like when one side of the face is brighter than the other side of the face, you have contrast. When you don't, and it's like a flat face and you see everything, that's what you're getting on Netflix. Everything is overlit in that you can see everything all the time, and there's
Yeah.
not a lot of shadows. They're avoiding shadow.
Yeah, and that's kind of a problem with modern lighting.
It's a
in
little
general.
whack. It's a
It's a
little
little
whack.
uninteresting, ain't it?
Yeah.
Right. And again, it doesn't mean the movie's necessarily bad.
No,
Like,
I think
thought
this looks
Bullet Train
like
was
fun.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will have fun lines and stuff.
Action looks pretty sweet. I like the Ryan Gosling is fun in these kinds of roles. He seems to have good chemistry with Emily Blunt, who's his director in this
Who's
movie.
fantastic as well. So
Yeah.
they're. I mean, they
Looks
did
like
the
fun.
thing. They're like,
Yeah.
let's get these two. And what's an idea? I just thought of an idea. There we go.
I've had this overall feeling actually is for the last week or so, I've been like taking shrooms and being like, I want to watch something fun.
Cool.
And I'm finding that I couldn't find much. Like I feel like because this year was so crappy for blockbusters, there's like a serious
really
lack
was,
of
man.
Yeah,
Damn.
there's a serious lack of mindless fun. Like there's Dungeons and Dragons, Barbie, and even Barbie isn't that mindless.
Right.
And so seeing this, I'm like, thank Christ. Like this looks like it could be mindless fun. Like, and that isn't to say there isn't bad movie. There's only bad movies, like indie movies. There's been good horror, but those aren't mindless fun.
Right, like
you know what I
you
mean?
want a popcorn movie.
Yeah,
you want
and there's
something,
Been a,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
It's like, what am I going to watch? Indiana Jones? No, that
Yeah, or like
sucks.
Quantumania. Like fuck.
Yeah,
Fuck no. I don't need a
And-
lore for my adventure movie. Just give me
Yeah,
a. yeah.
Put a handsome man in a car, you fools. Put
Yeah.
hot
Make 'em drive
people in
fast.
cars and make them drive fast.
right.
Make the honky go.
Like like it, and it's not that I'm getting older. It's a different feeling, which is like I would take shrooms, shut off my brain, and like I stuck on like some random Marvel show, and it was just like, this isn't interesting enough even in this condition. Like, it's just, I don't know. So that's all to say, I'm glad this is existing, and I'm glad this person keeps making movies because they make really good mindless fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, both
Leitch.
John Wick guys have been. Yeah, David Leitch. I'm not sure. That's pronunciation is the opposite for my name.
Oh, yeah.
The EI. I'm not sure. Could be Leach or Leitch.
Yeah.
Life's funny, guys.
Call in.
Call in. Let us know, David.
Yeah.
Yep. Should we talk about this next one? This one I've been hearing about for fucking ever. Like it was going to be the biggest goddamn thing in the world. This is called Damsel. It's got Millie Bobby Brown, Robin Wright.
I had forgotten hearing about this.
It's about a so-called damsel in distress who basically has to save herself from the dragon.
Right.
Which is a cool idea. I'm not saying these people can't make movies or this movie, but it is weird, right? That it's the writer and director are both dudes. And I'm just like, huh, all right. Like,
sure.
We'll see. I don't know.
It's a fair point. It's
just such a
it looks
focused movie.
It looks boring. Like
derivative, man.
Like the trailer was so boring.
Here's the other thing.
It's just like general fantasy.
Like I couldn't even tell what was happening for a lot of it.
Right. Nothing against these people, but it's also the writer of Wrath of the Titans and Fast X and nothing else, and the director of 28 Weeks Later. When I'm like, well, that's all well and good, but yeah, you make like real sourpuss stuff. Like you made Intruders 28 Weeks Later, like a bunch of like horror thrillers, and then Damsel, written by Wrath of the Titans. They're also doing The Sword in the Stone, apparently, which sure. But it's like that's what it is. It doesn't feel like I feel like this should be like Barbie. Like it's taking this idea of the damsel and subverting it, and it's like, shouldn't this be fun?
Well, I mean, it will be what it wants to be. It's just my complaint is the trailer looks dull.
Yeah, I was bored. Too serious.
It's got Millie Bobby Brown in it. That's
she's
cool.
Great.
She's all right.
Robin Wright's great.
Now that she's not a child, I feel fine just saying she's okay.
She's okay.
I was bored enough in this trailer. I'm with Tom that I like thought of a better movie while I was watching it. Like there's a shot of a tunnel with like crystal shards on it. That's like the most visually cool thing in the trailer probably. And I thought a movie like what if we're going to keep making Star Wars, you know, be a cool Star Wars is just someone trying to make it out of the Sarlacc pit. That would be rad.
Right, that's what because the trailer starts. This is another trailer where it loses me abruptly at this the utterance of a certain phrase. But like it starts with her stuck in seemingly a forest, like a evil forest or some kind of labyrinth or something. There's clearly a monster, and then it cuts to that shot that you were just describing. So at where she's trying to climb up out of this like jagged pit. So I was like, oh, is this going to be like just the story of this quote unquote damsel who's stuck in like a monster's lair and has to get out of the lair?
Right.
I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then it goes and then Robin Wright comes riding in with all these knights and starts talking about the lore of our kingdom. I was like, I immediately don't care anymore.
As soon as I was like, we have horses, I was like, God damn it. Yeah. People are moving around. We need transportation.
And then from that point on, the trailer is just literally blah, blah, blah. It's like,
it's just lore. Yeah.
Like, okay.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? You might have to stick with me on this. The Happy Time Murders. Remember that fucking movie?
I do. I'm sticking with you.
That's a movie that seemed to have a really good elevator pitch, and then it just...
Oh, I see what you mean.
They just fucked it up. Like, that's what it feels like is if you pitch this movie, I'm like, oh, yeah, absolutely. But then they just got kind of, like, lost in their own story. Mm-hmm. At least it seems from this trailer. And they're like, this is serious. And
this should function...
have lots of lore and be big. And I'm like, well...
This should function like, and I hope it does. I mean, we saw sweeping epic shots of, Lord of the Rings bullshit, but like, this should function like Prey from 2 years ago, whenever that came out. It should just be a simple, monster coming at you. Ah.
Here's the thing. Maybe it is. So the synopsis
Right.
is it's only 90 minutes. So right away I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Okay.
That's a
A
good sign.
beautiful damsel agrees to marry a handsome prince, only to find that the royal family has recruited her as a sacrifice to repay an ancient debt. Don't care, right? Second sentence. Thrown into a cave with a fire-breathing dragon,
Okay,
she
maybe
must
it is
rely
that.
on her wits and will to survive. So it might
That
it
trailer
might
did
be-
not do that.
Exactly. Like what the trailer is showing might be the setup to then what you guys
Right.
are
The
describing.
first-
That trailer leaned into all the wrong
Yeah.
shit then.
Exactly.
Because if the first 8 minutes of the movie is first 10 minutes of the movie is getting into the cave, and then it's 80
It's all
minutes
cave,
of cave.
yeah.
Fucking,
That's
I'm-
dope.
Sign
I'm
me
on
up,
board.
dude.
Yeah.
Sign
That would
me
be
fucking up.
fantastic.
If that's what...
But the trailer is insanely there's going to be a chosen
Right, it
one.
makes it look like
Yeah.
a big sweeping fantasy epic.
Yeah.
I'm
I-
guessing there will be, because I'm guessing this got cranked through studio,
That's
the
what I'm
studio
worried
notes,
about.
and maybe it was that at some point, and then the studio kept being like, well, we gotta add this, let's do that. It's gotta end. She's gotta fight against the prince at the end, right? Like she's gotta
Right.
go back to the kingdom, and so I'm guessing it'll end up being the entire second act will be the cave, and then the first and third act will
Yeah,
be
just shank a
outside.
dragon 80 times and then
Yeah.
end your movie.
Yeah, cut him up.
Cut up
Fucking
that dragon.
slices the dragon's neck,
Yeah,
Yeah.
just gotcha.
cuts his
Fuck
throat,
you.
and
Yeah.
hangs
I'm
him out of
11,
a helicopter
bitch.
like F. Murray Abraham and Scarface.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope this is good. My vibe is that it's going to disappoint me.
The plot
but-
synopsis has given me a little hope, so I'm going to put a big old asterisk on everything
Yeah.
I just said, but that trailer
Same.
was hog
Trash.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Wish, which is coming out pretty
Disney's
soon.
Wish. Yeah, this month.
Also 90 minutes. I'm kind of appreciating
Loving
that
it.
they're like, hey, maybe kids' movies should be short. And it's like, nah, no shit.
The
Christopher
Lion King
Prine's
is
in
like
this?
72 minutes.
Yeah,
Right.
dude. Fuck yeah.
Christopher Pine.
Sure.
Ariana DeBose is, I think, the main character. I don't know the main character's name. Alan Tudyk is the voice of fucking Matt Berry, and that's still driving me nuts.
Oh, the
Because
goat.
Yeah.
it's the goat is just get Matt Berry if you like. It feels like their direction was do Matt Berry, just make
Yeah.
the goat sound like Matt Berry. And it's like Matt Berry's alive.
In New York
Yeah,
City.
he's probably affordable, right? Like
Yeah.
you could get Matt Berry.
Yeah, he
if
probably
you're gonna do
said
Matt
they
Berry.
probably tried, and he was probably like, "Fucking, what's this? I don't want to fucking do this shit. I'm fucking Matt Berry.
I don't know.
I got
Maybe
shit to do."
It's a Disney movie. You'd be immortalized like fucking Gilbert Gottfried in Aladdin, you know?
I have damsels to attend to. Yeah, he's probably fucking his way away from Disney. So I got $1 on the messages. You got to make your own wishes come true.
Yeah, that makes sense. We talked about this once before Strikecast, and my note still stands that this also feels very generic. It feels like the most
yeah.
generic Disney, which is like, what if someone made a wish on a star? And it's like, you mean like
yeah.
Pinocchio? And they're like, yeah, but like more basic.
Like not the metaphor,
Yeah.
just to do the metaphor. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like, is there more of a story? And it's like, nah, it's just like wishing.
Yeah, it's in the same kind of, we talk about good movies having good antagonists. The same kind of treatment in the trailer, at least, seems to be they're signposting real loud that they don't give a shit about. Yeah, the king's evil because we don't even get an example of him fucking over his constituency. In fact, he's giving them wishes, but. In the trailer, he just says a line, and then it just cuts to a tower, and you just hear him laughing like a maniac. I'm like,
Right.
oh, okay, so we're just doing
evil.
symbols at this point. We're not even doing story. It's just
Yeah,
and
it's
then there's an evil guy. Look at him.
Yeah.
He's like
And
stealing
they're-
all the wishes. And
Yeah,
he'll
that's
grant
the-
like some of them, apparently.
Right, he's making it seem like he's got a scam.
Maybe there's more than that, but that's so far what the trailer gave us. I also love that because they used to do these in the 90s where they go like, remember all the Disney movies.
That's the other. That's the main thing, honestly. It's not just that like this and like, whatever the element was, Elemental, and a couple of other like it's just the past couple of Disney
Remember?
movies have been kind of meh. It's really like this trailer is specifically because this idea is like it's supposed to be like the wishing star, like it's been said that like the star that she wishes upon in this movie is like literally the same star from like Pinocchio and Peter Pan.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah. So this is like a big, like a little bit of like you're saying, like a Disney being like, hey, remember this? So it's like Disney still trying to cash in on a lot of its goodwill, but it's like, man, Disney is such a fucking ugly bad guy.
That's the
it's
thing.
like,
It's
I
like
can't get whimsical about these movies anymore.
When
It's
you
just
go
like
back-
you're so fucking predatory and evil as a
Yeah,
company.
when you go
Like-
back and watch The Lion King, like one of those previous ones where they're like, they took you to Neverland, and then they
Yeah.
did this. Now they're bringing you to Africa, and it would be the Lion King trailer.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, and that resulted in the Lion King, which is amazing. But
Yeah.
nowadays they're like, they're doing it again, and I'm like, I don't know if they are.
It's bad pitch. It's bad pitch energy, which is
Yeah.
what trailers are supposed to be functionally. And it's just like saying, so we know this one's, it's kind of already agreeing. We know this one's probably not going to be good. But remember all that other shit, though? We fucking nailed it,
This is
right?
Wish. It's just so generic.
Come get a very beige version of all the things you liked.
Speaking of Disney, the next trailer is for Inside Out 2. This sort of wrote itself. Like, I feel like they thought of this. This is one of the ones where I'm like, this is a doable sequel. She's getting all the dirtbag puberty emotions. I didn't
thought
see
that was the
horniness
point
there.
of the last one.
The last
thought-
one, yeah, was more of like a
I thought it
sad
was more
trauma
about when you get
kid.
older and you start experiencing complex emotions.
Well,
I
it's
thought
more
that was the
about
idea.
she's uprooted from her home and they move to a new town and she doesn't know how to deal with that and she's worried
that's
about
true.
her parents divorcing.
That's
and
true.
Right,
I
she
only,
still
I
has the
only saw it.
imaginary-
I only saw it once.
But
It's
this
a-
movie is clearly, you're a teen now.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't think this movie needs to exist, but I think it can, and I think
Sure.
they could pull it off. You know,
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna
again,
go
I
dark
didn't see
enough.
horniness there once.
Yeah,
And there's
No,
so you
but
can have
that's
another
lurking.
Matt Berry voice, another
Yeah,
Matt Berry
perfect
voice.
Matt Berry voice. Yeah.
yeah.
But they have anxiety there, and they're teasing other emotions, and that's fun. It's fun.
I mean, it should just be wall to wall like Holden Caulfield like eye rolls.
Yeah,
Like I'm getting the feeling that this movie will probably be why this generation of kids that are watching this movie hate millennials.
sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because this is gonna
Well,
be
yeah.
our like this is what teens are like.
I remember watching this
Facebook.
in theaters, and everybody's crying, and all the kids are like, "I want to go home," because the kids are like bored and sad.
they're like I don't give a shit about this.
Yeah.
I bet
I mean, it
there's
had
gonna
what's
be
his name? It
social
had
media
that
jokes.
dildo guy,
What dildo
with
guy?
the imaginary friend.
hell are you talking about? Oh, what
Oh
was
yeah,
his
the
name?
Dumbo, the
I said
elephant
his
man.
name.
Richard Kind.
Yeah. God,
What's
it was Richard Kind. That's very funny.
Sure as hell was Richard Kind.
That's extremely funny. That is Richard
What was
Kind.
his stupid name and whatever?
It
This
was
is
something like Bing Bong.
Bing Bong. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you're probably right about that.
All
It
right,
was
so-
fucking Bing Bong.
So a couple things. One, was Kyle MacLachlan the voice of the dad in the original? Because
Yes.
he's the voice. Okay, because he's still the voice of the dad, and that weirds me out.
They did not
Ex-
retain Bill Hader or oh gosh.
Oh, I heard that they didn't pay them enough. They should have paid them.
Yeah. I'm blanking on her name. From The Office. Kelly from
yeah.
The Office.
I forget. Oh,
Mindy-
Kaling.
Mindy Kaling. Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
neither she nor Bill Hader are coming back.
Looks like
they didn't
Tony
pay him
Hale
enough.
plays Fear, which is a funny
That makes sense.
version because that sounds more of someone who's afraid, but I guess that's the idea,
That's
right?
the idea.
concept
That's-
of fear.
that's- yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, well, fear and anxiety. All right, you're like, you're sort of you're nitpicking now.
Yeah,
I
let's
don't
get
know.
horny in the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw horniness in there. Just a real goblin.
But
I
we'll
guess
see.
that's Big Mouth.
yeah, that's true.
That is Big Mouth.
I mean, it can be fine. That's sort of
Sure,
my
I don't
thoughts.
know. The Inside Out didn't connect with me really. I understood why it connected with a lot of people, but that one wasn't for me.
I wouldn't say it connected with me so much as I was just like, oh, what well-crafted idea.
Yeah.
For like what you're
For
creating.
sure, yeah.
And then learning the feeling of bittersweetness is like a perfect place to land on. So I was just like, how that's incredibly well executed version of this story.
Yeah.
Which is why part of me is like, I dare you to make the sequel. Pixar has been known to make good sequels, which is why I'm like, I'm not counting this out.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Speaking of sequels, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I'm with you, Tom. I don't care.
I mean, it's a drive-in movie franchise. Like, they have one classic and the rest is schlock. So it's, sure, whatever.
Exactly.
It's complete apathy over at the Planet of the Apes franchise.
Right.
Just like, yeah, sure.
Sure, whatever. Like, I haven't seen any of these because I don't care. Like, I haven't seen...
Right.
I've seen maybe one of the original sequels when they were aired on TV, but it's just not... Planet of the Apes, outside of, like, the original story and more of like the, not a parable, but what that movie was about, like that's what interests me. Like I don't care, like it's just not a...
It was a twist.
Right, it's not like a universe that interests me. Like I don't care about the Monkey Planet.
I don't care about Monkey Planet.
Yeah.
Here's my defense of these, which is that so Rise of the Planet of the Apes is bad. It's just a bad movie. It's incredibly terrible. And they knew it. So they made Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and then they made whatever the other one was. Those two are just like very decent, gritty, post-apocalyptic sci-fi, where it's like they don't even need to really be apes. It could have just been warring armies. You know what I mean? And it has in it fucking Gary Oldman, Andy Serkis, Toby Kebbell, Jason Clarke, Judy Greer's in there. So it's also just like really well done. It's Matt Reeves.
Right, yeah.
And so like it's just they're good movies. War for the Planet of the Apes is the other one. Regardless of the fact that they're Planet of the Apes movies, they're just like decent war thrillers. And they're good. They're just good. This is not directed by Matt Reeves. This is the director of the Maze Runners, all of them. People seem to be excited for this movie.
Put these monkeys in a maze!
Yeah. Yes.
Now here's one thing I will say about the boldness of this movie. This is the first time in the entire franchise they were just like, guys, I'm going to say it. All 8. Just 8, baby.
Right,
Ape
that's
it
the
up.
other thing. Is the other ones that were kept teasing it. Like the apes would sort of talk a little bit. Now they're just like, okay, we're doing it.
No humans. Fuck humans. Just full ape.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll do the Statue of Liberty in this. They finally met the Heston one. But I think it was actually smart of them not to have just remade the Cheston ones originally and made a prequel, because they did make them more interesting. And again, I think people will watch this. I think there's a weird group of people, but a significant, who really did like those other Planet of the Apes and are excited for this.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like there's not a lot of complexity to the concept, which is what made the original sci-fi concept so effective, is that you weren't expecting it to have a sci-fi ramification. You were just like, oh, and there's a planet. Got it. Cool. And oh shit, it's our planet. Like that simple thing, which is what made that movie a classic.
Oh yeah.
Has not deserved like 5 movies.
Not at all. But I do think the sequels will be one of those things that'll get lost and people will discover them later and go, those were surprisingly decent.
Yeah, I mean, that's people working hard on movies.
Yeah. But it's also like, man, it's been 6 years. Like, this is like a new Fantastic Beast coming out.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, really? All right.
There was a new Fantastic Beasts this year, Dave.
I
Yeah,
don't
dude.
No.
Yes,
No. That's not true.
Yeah, no.
This year.
I'm
The reality,
reasonably
the
sure.
nightmare you pitched is real.
The Secrets was last year.
Secrets was last year. Okay. The Secrets of Dumbledore was last year.
Yeah. But it is, I
Dumbledore.
don't know. I'm less into this because Matt Reeves is a very good director, and this isn't Matt Reeves. So I'm like, well, I don't care about the apes. So whatever. You know, like maybe it'll be fine. Also, this is the guy that's doing Zelda. For all you Zelda fans out there, the Maze Runner guy is also doing The Legend of Zelda. I don't know if that's going to make people feel good or bad.
Oh, I just assumed the Zelda movie was a cartoon.
No, it's a live action adaptation.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay.
And you're gonna ask yourself, who's Link? And
Oh, no.
the internet has answered Tom Holland apparently.
All right.
So now that's the reality, I guess.
He is
So the new
a little
Zelda
bit too
movie-
old to be a teenaged protagonist.
Listen,
Yeah.
the new Zelda movie, I'm sure we've revealed this before, is so the director of Maze Runner, written by the writer of, are you ready for this? Jurassic World.
Oh yeah.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Fuck me up.
Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise
Hell
of
yeah.
Skywalker, and Jurassic World Domination. Dominion. Jurassic World Dominion.
Okay,
yeah.
so just
So-
a series of some of the worst movies I've
Yep.
seen in
And they're
past
like, "Hey,
several
buddy,
years.
You want Zelda? And he's like, yeah, I'll take Zelda. That's his voice. Yeah. And he's just roaring through properties, just tearing them down.
I mean, there's not much to Zelda. We were talking about archetypes earlier. That's all
and
Zelda
yet I
is.
bet he'll fuck it up.
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty of room to fuck that up.
I mean, it's
My
not.
God.
It's not
Oh,
that.
and Monster Trucks. I forgot Monster Trucks.
Oh, did he write Monster Trucks or direct
He
it?
wrote Monster Trucks as well.
I just
Sweet.
want to point out that, as far as I understand, the way it works is that it's not that it's necessarily a terrible writer. I mean, he's not great, but the idea, it's because he hasn't shown it, and the idea is that he is someone who will basically lay over when a studio is like, this is
Right,
what we're
he'll
doing.
just do the thing.
And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's
Well,
a job. You know, that's
dependable person.
I can be fine with that. I can live in
It's-
that reality.
It's whatever.
Yeah.
Rather
If
than to
that's the
say this
case,
guy
I'm-
keeps ruining franchise. No, it starts at the studio
He
level
did-
and they
he
want to
did
Oh,
Take
control it.
Monster
I
Truck.
never said he ruined anything.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
I just said he wrote some fucking terrible movies.
That's
It's
absolutely
that's the thing.
true.
It's like, maybe it's not his fault, but then he has to get the fuck away from whoever is giving
Yeah.
him his
I mean, he's a
jobs.
part of the problem.
I mean, I'm
that's
sure he's
for
I'm
sure.
sure he's getting paid lots and lots of money. So
That's the
let's
thing.
move on.
Okay. This, let's
Speaking
let's
of-
move on to bigger and better things, right? This is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
We're literally talking about the same movie like 4 times today.
I know
So this
it
movie-
really is. It really
do wanna-
is.
This movie, I want to tell you who directed it. It's the director of the Poltergeist remake.
Oh, they didn't
So-
even get Jason Reitman back, huh?
Nope. He wrote it, or he co-wrote it rather, with this director. And Ivan Reitman is credited, I assume, for characters.
I mean, Jason Reitman might even just be credited for characters. I don't know.
You're right.
Because there's
What
like this Stranger
All
Things
the kids,
boy.
yeah, all the kids, and the Paul Rudd and the Carrie Coon.
what's happening here?
I don't care. It's the last movie was bafflingly serious. This trailer is bafflingly serious. I don't.
It's like a Roland Emmerich film. They're
It's-
like, you know what they
yeah.
like is weather events, and I'm like,
yeah,
that's
it's
strange.
which I don't know. Again, like Ghostbusters is pretty similar to Garfield in that it was only ever plastic.
Yeah.
But,
Also,
like-
for the record, Ghostbusters used to have apocalyptic events,
yeah.
so that's not that.
No.
unusual.
Every Ghostbusters, all the good Ghostbusters
second-
media also ends with a world-ending
The
threat.
second that we got a gritty Slimer, we lost our way.
Yeah.
You know?
It's weird. Isn't it weird that the 2016 one, I'm pretty sure, is the third best Ghostbusters? Because that one dared to be a comedy. Not a great comedy, but it was like a comedy.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's again, it wasn't good.
and then the last one was just like
very serious.
congratulating all the people who played with Ghostbusters toys when it was like this
Yeah.
weird reverence for
I
it.
did like so. My defense of that film, and it's not much of a defense, is that when they did do funny, they did a lot of dry comedy, which reminded me more of Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
But it was still like the weird reverence of it all.
it's like it's 70% that tone, and then there's
Yeah.
like a couple of horror beats which were cool. I want to see Jason Reitman do more horror stuff, and
Yeah.
then some of the jokes did land. It's just there were barely any of them, and it's mostly this weird, serious tone.
And now they're moving,
I don't
and
know.
like this Frozen Empire stuff, and like I don't know. It also feels weird that they're introducing New York now, reintroducing, but then they're also doing this big offer on top of it of this like apocalypse that I feel like I don't know. Again, that's not unusual for Ghostbusters, but it's the tone on top of it where it feels like they really want to like build a world. I don't know. Bill Murray looks so tired.
It's over is the thing. Just look at
It's over.
It's crazy
yes.
to me. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. That tells you everything you need to know. What is Frozen Empire?
What does that even mean? Yeah.
Not only just like the baffling, like these are good sounding words, they're trying to like evoke from me this feeling of like, oh, mysterious, tonally dark, and like,
Right, like
kind of
this
like
exciting
Batman or some shit.
chapter of the Ghostbusters.
And it's
Right.
like you have seriously just fucked up. Like you don't know, you don't care about Ghostbusters anymore. Ghostbusters is just a pack
It's
and a car.
a frozen empire, if
Yeah,
you will. It is a corpse that they're just running electricity through.
Tells you everything
sure.
you need to know.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Sorry, hold on. I have to point
Okay.
something out. William Atherton's in this.
what?
Walter Peck.
Okay, I'm back on board.
Yeah. Well, here's the both the good and bad about that.
Sure.
And they're doing Star Trek Picard.
Yeah.
I've talked about it. I watched 3 seasons of Star Trek Picard, and Star Trek Picard is basically them calling everybody they can and being like, "Will you be in it?" Not quite spoilers, but Professor Moriarty's in Star Trek Picard. That's to give you the level of like
Really
what
going
they
deep
did.
on the bench. Yeah.
Yeah, they got everybody who was willing, and they were like, "Remember them?" And I was like, "Yes, I do. I love it." Because in my mind, it didn't fucking matter.
No, it doesn't
Like,
matter, really.
Star Trek TNG was done, and Picard is just like fan fiction, right? And I was enjoying it like fan fiction, and so for that reason, I was like, "Oh shit, you got Moriarty, you got Ensign Rowe in there. That's great, fun." And so I guess you could enjoy this on that level where you're like, "There's Walter Peck. Oh my
Dude.
God, they got him back." It's like a reunion
It's
show.
just all it is, and that's all
It is.
the
It's a
previous one
reunion
is.
show.
It's just
Yeah.
like, remember these toys you used to play with? You
We're
remember
getting
how
the band back
cool you
together,
liked the Ghostbusters? I don't know.
But you can't find like a narrative from here.
It's
You
not a
know, you
movie.
can't-
Yeah, it's not a movie.
Exactly.
I just want to stop talking because I'm sad now.
let's talk about Lisa Frankenstein now.
Yeah.
I
Diablo
am
Cody's Lisa
fully into
Frankenstein.
this. Directed by Zelda Williams.
Really?
Yeah. Did you see that at the
Wait,
end?
what did she do?
I don't know if she's done anything yet. She's Robin Williams' daughter.
Oh, well, that's something. That's an
I
accomplishment.
mean, she's an actress. I don't know if she's directed anything else. Is what I meant.
right. Let me. I'm looking. She's
yeah,
done a
some
bunch of
stuff, yeah.
stuff. Yeah, she has a career.
Okay, cool.
This.
But I'm into this. I'm fully into this.
It does look like it's having fun with itself. I do think it's funny that we were making once again a cracked-esque observation we were making of just like, what's the farthest they'll ever go? Are they gonna Twilight Frankenstein? Ha 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 ha. And it's
Right.
like, oh yeah, we're making sexy Frankenstein, baby.
yeah, but it's the Diablo Cody's
But
wink
it's-
wink. We're self-aware.
Yeah, of course.
It's called
Yeah.
Lisa Frankenstein.
Yeah.
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 Lisa Frankenstein.
Einstein. It also reminds me of that Buffy episode where the boy makes a robot girlfriend. Like they're gonna have a lot of fun with this is a terrible thing. This is a monster.
Right.
Yeah.
Lisa's a real monster pervert.
I think this will be fun. It has that Netflix lighting. Also, there's been like a few Frankenstein adaptations. That's not their fault. They just happen to crowd the same area.
Yeah,
But
that's
I
not
mean, this
totally
looks-
Frank. She is assembling herself a perfect boyfriend / prom date out of body parts.
Yeah.
And
I
then
think-
also using the monster to help her kill other people to get better body parts for him.
Right. It's solid. Like
Solid.
it feels like, like Diablo Cody, I feel like is very inspired by movies like Heathers, right?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I really liked Juno. I liked Jennifer's Body
Jennifer's
as a
Body a lot,
concept.
yeah.
You know my thoughts on it. I'm not
Yeah,
a big
that's fair.
fan of the dialogue in that one.
That's true. It's not perfect, but I do like Jennifer's Body and Juno.
I think Diablo Cody is like Tarantino, which is that she writes like Diablo Cody and or Kevin Smith or anybody else who has a strong voice. And I think sometimes it works for me, sometimes it doesn't, and that's all. And this looks like it would really work in this premise. So I'm excited. This looks-
You can tell that the trailer intentionally hid the monster. Like, obviously the monster is gonna have like lines and stuff. They didn't do that, right?
Yeah, they really keep him kind of a mystery.
And I hope that they
this.
make it like they have a segment where they like get into the psyche of him, because that seems like a fun, fun and games sequence where it's just like you have such a rich bucket, like the monster fears fire, like the monster is like, what manner of beast am I? It's like I hope they do the real Frankenstein jokes.
It's also got Gerald's game in there, Jerry's game.
Carly Gugino.
Yeah, thank you.
She's great.
Good.
She's
Yeah,
really
she's
good.
Awesome. Amazing.
She was great in that. What was
Jerry's
it? The House
game.
of Usher.
Usher.
Oh yeah, she was good in
yeah.
that.
She killed it.
All right, last trailer. We finally got
trailer.
Godzilla -1. We could have covered this at any point because I don't think it's covered. It's like SAG or whatever.
I don't think so. It's a Japanese film.
Yeah, this is like the 38th Godzilla sequel for them. My question was just, I couldn't help but notice Godzilla's kind of CGI in this. Has that been happening for a while?
As far as I know.
Yes.
Okay, because I thought that was the main
Godzilla's
difference. Is they were doing a lot of still costume Godzilla, and now I'm curious.
Like miniatures?
That's what I thought. I thought they were still doing that, but
No,
clearly
I think
I'm wrong.
I think that finished in like the
early aughts, maybe. I'm not really that familiar with the Godzilla series. I do remember Godzilla 2000 still does the suits.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, I didn't realize this was a period piece until I saw the trailer. I was already pretty jazzed to see this. This movie looks
it's a prequel,
fucking
right?
awesome. No, it's basically a reboot or a
reboot.
reimagining.
Okay.
of
For the
original.
record, it looks like the suits ended in 2004,
Okay.
which
Nice.
is fine. I mean,
Good pull.
It's their series.
It's a weird choice to set Godzilla in Japan in
Right.
in World War II times.
Yeah,
I know,
right
right?
after World War II, right? Nah,
I really
movie looks
want
so fucking
Godzilla
good.
I want Godzilla to have lines, and he's like, I am become death, and he's just like Oppenheimer quotes.
They should get
It's just a
fucking
giant
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy.
Like, yeah, they should get like. It would be great if they got multiple fucking Oppenheimer people. This
what a movie! That's the best
director-
kaiju movie I've ever heard of.
I think this director has done other Godzillas too. This looks awesome. This looks just
it looks
undeniable,
Does. It looks
right?
so fucking good. And
I-
I've heard from folks that this movie is legit, from people who've seen it already.
I love the thing that we've been doing with. I mean, I don't know how long if Japan has been doing this, but it's definitely been a thing in the more recent westernized Godzilla movies, where it's like Godzilla's kind of like Inspector Gadget. Like, there's no. We don't know the depth of all his
You mean
tricks
they
that
both
he's
had
gonna pull
Matthew
out.
Broderick?
No. He's like he's got like blue spikies on his back, which we've seen
yeah.
before, but now they jolt out to the music. And it's just like funny to me that it's just like, oh, I guess Godzilla's got a more final form, I didn't know that.
Godzilla often makes the same noises you'd hear in a rave. Like
Yeah.
like yeah, it's like he's like part electronic. He's great.
Yeah,
What an asshole.
he's part Daft Punk.
He's
Yeah.
Daft
He
Punk.
really is.
Yeah. I wonder
And
if
you know,
I was just
go on.
wondering that those blue spikies, because that's the new iteration, is that like, does that feel good? Is he like, oh yeah,
it's, yeah, he's like, oh, feels so good when they pop out.
fuck.
This looks. There's a shot where a boat is like being chased by him, shooting at him.
Oh,
Yeah.
one of the last shots, it grabs the boat and the fucking deck guns just go off right into.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
recently
Looks so
watched.
cool.
That's cool.
So I recently watched the American New Godzillas, and like I now want to compare and contrast, especially since now they're both CGI and they're both the same model.
Yeah.
Sort
and I
of. There's a difference, but yeah, they're pretty similar.
It's just funny because I watched
Still looks like a
all of the
kitty cat.
three main ones,
Yeah, he does.
and the one that's still like the action at least is amazing is Godzilla v Kong. Like that one still has a sense of fun. It's still like bogged down by so much plot.
I know. But the
And
decision to end it with a pro wrestling fight between those three is
That was
incredible.
great. But
Yeah.
it was like, it's just weird how the American ones seem to like get bogged down and they don't have as much fun. And just this trailer alone, I'm just like, this has a lot of Godzilla and it looks fun as hell.
It does seem like they're just let's fucking destroy the city real bad.
Yeah.
Well, I like that it's, it's also not trying to play the destruction, I guess, or minimize it the way that we tend to in American blockbusters.
There was this weird obsession with Godzilla and Kong both being kind of good guys.
Yes.
And then when they had to fight, it was like, what are we doing? And they had to they had to get Mecha Godzilla in there, which,
right. And they had to evacuate Hong Kong, I think. Don't
exactly. They have to
all these buildings are empty. No, they're not.
Right. They have to sweatily write these reasons why they're not bad. And it's like, it's a giant lizard and giant monkey. They can just be bad. It's fine. We don't have to root. Like the end of the first one. Remember the end of the first one where Godzilla gets up and goes to the ocean and the people in San Francisco cheer? And it's like, why are you cheering for him? Like, yeah, he fought off the other things, but he also destroyed. Yeah, like there's no it's like they're watching the movie and they know the brand.
Nothing for you.
Yeah. What do you think is happening?
It's
you
like
can't
we're
beat
so
those
obsessed
two
with that
weird
stuff.
spider fuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. This looks fucking great.
Like the guy just betting on who's gonna win. Just huddled in a corner.
Oh man.
Godzilla. -1. All right. We did it. We did all the trailers.
We did, but we have a few more producers, Dave.
We do. Let's thank some. Big thank you to No One Can Hear You Scream in Space McNulty. Thank you. Thank you to Norm from Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you to Pete Forpagel.
Thank you so much.
Excuse me. Thank you to Numino, Ultramicroscopic, Silicol Volcano, Coniosis, Anti-Disestablishmentarianism Jones.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to Pumpkin Ed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Rev MD.
Thank you.
Thank you to Ricky Cilantro.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rosemary's Baby from Eraserhead.
Thank you.
Thank you to Screaming Horse Pyramid.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Sorry Cop, world's most laughable centrist.
Thank you.
Thank you to Steven.
Thank you. Let me swoop in here. Thank you to the conveniently placed self-destruct button on the top of every baby's head.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Midnight Patron with patrons at midnight.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Oatmeal Savage.
Thank you.
Thank you to Happy Holidays from the ghost of Dave Andrew Thomas.
Thank you.
Thank you to the 2B Terror Bunny says the strikes may be over, but egg David Zaslav for fun and profit. Thank you to these 7 Bs.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tiger Doors Pratt Thompson. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tip Drizzle.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tux.
Thank you.
Thank you to Vincent.
Thank you.
Thank you to Why Don't You Take a Flying Fuck at the Moon.
Thank you.
And thank you to your mom.
Thanks.
Dave,
Woo!
we talked about 11 billion trailers today, but
you did.
I couldn't help but feel that there may have been one that you held back.
Give it to us, Dave.
A precious little gem that perhaps deserves a little more hype.
Come on.
Oh, I got it. I got
What?
it.
No!
Give it to me.
This is on streaming right now. It came out November 14th.
Oh.
I haven't seen it. It's called The Gravity, not to be confused with Gravity. The Gravity, as in like the gravity of the situation, or the gravity is going nuts because of a planetary alignment. This takes place in Paris, in suburbs. It's about 2 rival drug gangs that are vying for power. There's a new young drug gang, and they're like fighting the old one. Our main character is a guy whose brother died falling to his death, and his friend is someone who fell with his brother and is confined to a wheelchair. So why would I include that if like that sounds like any other movie, right? That's a pretty standard movie, except the gravity is reversing or something. So the B plot of this movie is that the exact same time there's awaiting planetary alignments that's going to screw with our Earth's gravity. I believe to reverse it. I'm sort of just guessing based off what they show. It's considered a B plot. Like they keep cutting to space apparently in the movie every now and then. For this weird cosmic like event that's going to happen, that's leading to basically this face off between these gangs. It's like in the background the whole time. Also, if you saw the trailer, you might notice that he builds a super wheelchair.
Yeah, it's
like an Iron Man wheelchair.
Suit, yeah.
Which seems also unrelated. So this is all to say this movie looks fucking weird. Like, I don't know. It's got good reviews, but it doesn't have like that many reviews. It's in festivals and stuff. This is all to say that just like it looks fucking weird and unique. I've never seen a movie like this that appears to be about rival gangs building an Iron Man wheelchair to fight a
It seems like 80% of this is
event.
a social drama, you know?
Yes, most of it is just like any other like indie social drama that you could watch. What'd you guys think?
Looks interesting. Looks weird as shit.
It looks weird as shit, and I hope they play with it because I think the excitement that you have for it, I also share that excitement. I think there's something here, and they're going to be doing some commentary on, like, what this means, you know, like what... The idea, I think they have the kind of, at the start of the trailer, they kind of have the setup about, like, why were they jumping from buildings and stuff like that. Right. I think that they're going to dip into this, like, I don't know what aspect of culture they're going to dip into it, but it's definitely not going to just be like, and then they, you know, then it's a big gravity battle. But
no, yeah,
maybe. I'm a little worried more of what this says about movies, like, because I don't know, maybe I'm just an old man screaming at the clouds, but like honestly, it's like this is an indie darling, and it's a social drama, and it's about like families and friendship and the loss of and grief
and gravity.
But that's the thing, is that it almost feels like it also could be that in order to make a dent in and have your movie get made with a good budget, like you have to kind of placate this addiction to powers that we've had for the last 20 years.
Right.
And I'm just a little tired of it. And I'm this could be a sad state of the union, or it could be like one of the coolest, like playing with that shit that we've seen today.
Yeah.
I have no clue what to expect, to be honest.
That's
Here's
fair.
my
That's a
thoughts
good
on
observation.
That.
Yeah.
I think these days there's so many movies and streaming and stuff, you have to stand out. You have to have something like weird and unique and memorable. I think the better movies are the ones who do that and then have a thematic reason within the story that it's there. And so the question is, like, did they have that? And this is getting nothing but good reviews so far. Again, only like 5 reviews because it just came out. So like, at least according to the handful of reviews, it does seem like it does come together in that way. I wonder if people are going to be almost disappointed when they realize it's mostly not about, like, it's mostly about rival gangs and not really about sci-fi shit.
It's like more akin to like A Prophet, you know, or something like that, like a movie that's just about like people walking around, and like it's mostly looks like The Wire, you know, like
it mostly looks like The Wire but with a little bit of sci-fi.
In Paris.
Wire in Paris,
French
basically.
Wi-Fi. Yeah, it's The Wire, but they probably have better healthcare, I'm guessing.
But I do share your enthusiasm for this. Could be a non-comic book kind of quotation to the idea of like personal excellence, or the idea of being like the special boy or something like that, and being important,
right?
And having to win because of it. There seems to be almost like an alignment of things that are happening that are making me think that that's what this movie is actually about.
Yeah. Also, I heard that the face-off of it takes place like in a sewer, like in an enclosed space, which is not what you'd think for a movie that's leading up to Gravity. So, like, that's interesting to me. That seems like they subvert it in a way. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that there might be something going on here.
Yeah. No matter what, I want to fucking see this. So, yeah.
Yeah,
hype.
I'm hyped.
Movies are back.
Movies are back.
The movies have returned.
Yep.
And that's a
fucking
sode.
Hours.
We've done it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
bask in the sode, in the afterglow of the sode.
Splish splash. Just let it trickle over you. Abe, thank you so much for being on the show, man.
Hey, man. It's always a pleasure to talk movies with you guys. I love movies.
You love movies.
You do. You do. That is a true statement about yourself. Do you want to hit any pluggies again?
Yeah. Just if you can't remember, because this has been a 2-hour long episode, patreon.com/smallbeans. You probably know about us. We do kind of the same thing as Gamefully Employed does. So if you're into them, you're probably going to be into us. And we share a bunch of like shows with them, including Star Trek: The Next Futurama and Spiel Boys. And we have a new video show with Michael Swaim talking about trailers. So if you like this kind of stuff, you're probably going to like that show. Yeah, it's a riot. So come join us. Have a good time. Bye.
Nice.
Nice.
We have a Patreon as well. Patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. Go on there. You check it out. We have those podcasts that Abe mentioned, Star Trek The Next Futurama and Spiel Boys. We also have Fox Mulder's Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman. We watch movies every Friday night. Check us both out. Check Small Beans. Check Gamefully. Check things out. You love things.
Yeah, and you love checking things.
Yeah.
Speaking of checking things, head over to our store if you like, gamefullyunemployed.com. You'll find a link to our Teespring store where we have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs. You can get on t-shirts, mugs, stickers, posters, all sorts of things. So slap your little gravity flipping peepers onto that.
Yeah. Slap your big gravity hogs.
Yeah, your gravity hogs. That should be a movie.
Get your
Floating
hogs on.
All right.
Yeah, let's write it.
Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, CORLEW, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is produced by Michael Vincent Bramley. You can find more of his artwork at instagram.com/mvbramleyart. Our episode artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown, and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.